Good morning. It's your KCHW Morning Show. It is Friday, July 3rd.
Thursday.
Did I say Friday?
Yes, you did.
I'm wishful
See,
That's
where I come in
wishful
handy.
thinking,
I
right?
come in handy.
It is Thursday, July 3rd. I was so focused on getting the third right, I forgot about the day of the week,
That's right.
I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. I'm a little tired, so,
well.
days of the week, it doesn't matter.
They all. But it definitely is Thursday.
It is Thursday, July 3rd.
For certain.
Yes, we are here. We are here with myself, Chuck Ritchie, and the lovely Gina Greenwood. Good morning, Gina.
Good
How
morning.
are you?
Wonderful.
So we have a special guest coming on later in the second half of the show.
We do.
A young lady by the name of Gabby, who you met.
And she goes by Gabby because it's easier for people to remember.
I gotcha.
Yeah. And I met her through my yoga dance art camp at the park in Colville. Yeah,
Yes.
Canham with Marcy Bravo. And she just came in. We didn't even know each other. And she went in as a inspired youth, and she went into the Park and Rec Center like a day before the camp and said, "Hey, I want to volunteer." And so whoever directed her to us, she's just incredible and was so good with the kids. And she's 14 and she's a dancer. So we'll talk about that when she shows
Absolutely.
up.
So
Today.
she was helping with the dance.
She was
camp.
helping us with the whole thing. We just need
Awesome.
an extra, person.
Yeah.
And because there's lots of kids and just two, Marcy and I, but we needed one extra person. Take them to the restroom, help them with shoes or just life in general.
yeah.
So she took part in the workshop with us, but she was our assistant, and she was just great.
That is awesome.
And she came in like a day before the actual camp and asked to help at the rec center. She just went into the Park and Recs and said, "Hey, I really want to do some volunteering." So she was directed to us and was a really great fit.
Don't you love it when you're in that moment when, like, man, I really wish I could have some help, and somebody walks up and says, "Hey, can I help you with something?"
And then she was she came in, and we didn't even know we were going to have a helper. We thought we were going to, and it happened, and it was just a perfect fit. We had a good time.
That's awesome.
And so she's coming on.
And we're gonna meet her the second half of the show.
We are.
Yeah.
Well, I've met her, but you're going to meet
Well,
her.
I get to meet
And
her.
then
I'm
other
excited.
people can hear about, again, inspired youth, this is what our theme is.
Inspiring youth every Thursday with Chuck
Inspiring
and Gina.
youth. Yes, yes.
I'm excited. All right. So let's just go ahead and jump right into the show because we got a
Yes.
lot to talk about
Yes.
we
Yes, for
bring
sure.
Gabby on for the
Right.
second half of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take a look at the weather. It's been hot out there.
It was really, really hot in different
Yeah.
pockets yesterday. I talked to different people. It's the flares, the solar flares, as we all know.
Yeah.
There's certain beaming energy of that sun
Mhm.
that it's different places in the same, not too far from one another. It's interesting, just strong,
Oh, yeah.
strong.
And it wasn't quite as hot yesterday, but the other day, 2 days ago, it was the hottest day of the year so far. It
And?
actually, I don't know if it officially hit 100, but my thermometer
Said
hit 100.
Yeah, mine said 100 too.
Yeah, it was hot.
Mm-hmm.
Hot.
Sizzling.
But it's a little bit cooler today. We got some sunshine, 85 degrees for our high today, 55 overnight, a few clouds happening through the night. Then tomorrow, it should be actually a pretty decent day for the Friday market. There's the 4th of July celebration tomorrow. We're gonna
Tomorrow,
we're gonna
yes.
talk about that in
Different
a little
hours
bit.
too. We have to remind people.
Yes.
Starting a little earlier, 10
Starting early and ending early.
at 2. Correct.
All right, but 84 for the high, 57 overnight. So still warm, but not scorching hot. So should be okay. Then on Saturday, a high of 83 degrees, 55 for your overnight low, 89 and 57 on Sunday with partly cloudy skies. Then on Monday, starting to heat back up again, getting up into the mid 90s with a high of 94 and 61 degrees overnight with sunny skies. Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, both the same temperatures, 100 degrees for the high.
Next week.
Yep.
Okay.
Monday and Tuesday with
Here we
a
go.
64 degree overnight low, with of course all sunshine. Yeah, which the sun is nice,
Sunshine is awesome,
but at 100 degrees, a few clouds every now and then, and a slight breeze might be nice,
right? Umbrellas come in handy too.
right? We might have a little bit of a breeze, about 7-8 miles an hour blowing through, but not really a lot to cut the heat. But that's okay.
Jump in the water.
Yeah. Turn on the sprinklers or something for the kids
Yeah,
too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And or go to the park, go to the creek.
Go to the creek. Any body of water. Just get in it.
And I do know, just based on the other day, there was a heat advisory. The Weather Service put out a heat advisory. They want you to make sure, if it's going to be that hot, you're going to want to make sure you stay cool. Keep an
Absolutely.
eye on your friends and loved ones. If you have elderly neighbors, maybe
Right.
check on them.
Hydrate.
Make sure they're doing okay. Yeah,
hydrate.
stay hydrated. Most important. And if you show any signs of heat exhaustion or heat stroke, goosebumps, cold shivers in the heat. Dizziness,
Yes.
confusion, of course, unconsciousness. You're going to want to move them into a cool area,
Absolutely.
cool them down.
And just like even
some
those, I
ice.
don't have one of those hand stitched but neck wrap things.
Yeah, those
but
are
those
awesome.
are they're available with Ina at the park. But even just a wet damp like bandana or like a scarf, like a cotton thin, dip
Yeah.
it, put it around the back of your neck. It's amazing. Then if it's big enough, you can put it on your head every now and then. It
Yeah.
really helps a lot. Or like a spritz bottle
Yep.
with water and some maybe lavender or whatever you want, eucalyptus. Those little tricks, they actually come in handy. They work.
I've got for working in the yard and stuff in the heat. I've got this really great, giant, oversized straw hat.
Oh,
And
yeah.
we have the creek running through our yard, and I'll just go and I'll just dunk that hat under the
dip it
water
in
and
there, yep.
stick it on my head and
Right
let
on.
it run down, and
That's awesome.
makes a huge, huge difference.
It does make a difference.
Yeah. All right, so let's see here. I got to grab it from my pile of papers over here. Our Chewila Valley Lions Club calendar. Now today, with birthdays, we have Julian Reagan and Julian Reagan. It's hard to see. Jared Rose and Rob Chamberlain have birthdays. Then Dale and Gwen Oman and Harley and Tamara Bowman have anniversaries. There you go.
Celebrations.
Happy birthday and anniversary, everybody.
Yeah.
See, on Days with Paula here, we would sing him a birthday song. Do you have a birthday song? You don't have to sing. I don't. Look on your face. I'm not going to sing on it.
Say it's your birthday. Gonna have a good time. There.
Yeah.
That's it.
I love it. Perfect. Thank you, Gina. Thank you. We're not going to sing it because, man, it's kind of annoying. But the actual happy birthday song, the traditional, happy birthday
Oh,
to
yeah.
you.
Da, da, da.
That song, for many, many years, you couldn't actually sing that song. If you ever notice in movies and media, that song isn't sung on movies, on TV, that kind of thing. It had a copyright on it for many, many years. And just recently, that copyright has actually been lifted.
Lift it off.
Yeah, so you can actually use that. It's now public domain. The traditional happy birthday song.
We can just sing it as much as we want now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But we're not going to do that today.
Not today.
Pardon me. Pardon me. So let's move along, Gina, to the community calendar.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm
Are
ready.
you ready? All right.
We've got a lot going on.
We do. Today, we have the Senior Citizens Potluck and Games. That's happening in Valley, Washington. Senior citizens from Chewila Valley and Springdale are invited to join on the first and third Thursday of each month. That's for games and a potluck from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Valley Fire Department building in Valley.
Nice facility. Such a great idea, too, for seniors to get together. And it's well attended.
It is. This one's been going on for a while, and they've been telling me they usually get more than 50 people showing up.
That's
and
great.
They play board games or card games or whatever.
Connect with each other,
Yeah.
and it's really incredible.
Everybody brings a good food dish.
Yes.
And I'm not one to turn down a good potluck.
No way.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I know during COVID, potlucks were kind of, but you know what?
We're not. We're past all
We're
that.
past all that. I'll never walk away from a potluck.
No. Such a variety. That's why I love them.
It is.
People bring their specials,
Yeah.
things they do, and then you get this whole smorgasbord of lots of variety.
And then you get to ask people, "Oh man, can I have your recipe?" And they look at you and they say no.
Are you kidding? No.
Because then
I'll
you'll
bring it next time. So you can just,
Do you have a favorite potluck dish that you like to bring?
I can make the most incredible salad. It's what I'm known
Yeah.
for. I mean, a lot of different, the microgreens and arugula and just fresh salad. And cabbages
Nice.
and stuff. That's what I love to bring. And it looks so beautiful and it tastes delicious. And
Oh yeah.
it takes a lot of chopping, but that's okay.
Right?
Yeah, that's what my famous thing is.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think our favorite thing that we always like to bring to a potluck is my wife's squash casserole.
Oh.
And it's a good Southern style squash casserole.
What type of squash? Does it matter?
Usually yellow squash.
Yellow, okay.
Maybe a mix of yellow and zucchini.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's not healthy. It's full of cheese.
Oh yeah, that's
and-
okay.
and
Balance it
carbs
out. Gotta
and-
have everything.
Oh yeah.
Chuck.
Lots of salt.
I'm not a funny little girl that way. I eat whatever I want.
Or we'll bring our taco salad, which is definitely not healthy either. But it does have a lot of lettuce, but it also has a lot of Fritos.
Right. You gotta have a variety again.
Exactly.
I'm not. That just is what I bring. But
Right. And the Chula Food Bank is open from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And if you're out there listening on Facebook, I want to hear what you guys bring to a potluck.
There you
So
go.
comment on our Facebook feed right there, and we'll talk about it on the air. We'll get back to it. There is a little delay, so it might take a while for those to get there. If we get any, where was I? I was losing my calendar here. The Chula Food Bank opened today from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., and that's at the Chula Senior Citizen Center, 302 East Main Avenue. Of course, the food bank, huge resource for the community.
Absolutely.
If they not only give away, but they also take donations.
They certainly do. Much needed.
You can donate food. You can donate vegetables from your garden.
Yep.
I know.
You can donate a time or two, couple hours, or they're always looking for volunteers too.
And they're always looking for cash.
Cash is a good thing.
Donations are good. And especially right now with a lot of funding getting cut, it's really important to support organizations and groups that help the community.
Absolutely.
And feeding the community is one of the most important things we can do as part of a community.
Absolutely.
Make sure everybody's well fed, clothed, housed. Yeah. Alrighty. Then the first Thursday Art Walk is tonight.
I know. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, so that's happening today from 5 to 8 p.m. And let me get it open here. I do have this poster right here on the computer. I just need to open it. All right, so Gina Fruin is going to be at the Trails End Gallery. Tim and I did our art talk last night.
Awesome.
Well, she was at the art talk at the Quartzsite Brewery.
Okay.
And Tim and I were on the radio for About the Arts, and we talked a little bit about her work.
And her special technique, right?
Yeah, she does soda-fired clay sculpt. They're really more sculptures than they're functional pieces.
Yeah,
but
beautiful. But the soda ash and baking soda, some sort of technique, which I'll be able to meet her and talk more about that because I wasn't able to make it last night. But
I would love to learn more about how that works. Tim wasn't exactly sure, so he didn't want to say it wrong.
We'll find out.
But
we'll talk to the source.
Yeah. And at the
who else is the Yale?
Who's at the Yale Press and still at the Trails End Gallery, still pieces hanging from the plein air exhibit. And we'll be announcing the winner of the People's Choice Award for the plein air event tonight.
Tonight will happen. Oh,
yeah.
Excellent.
I actually have it in front of me, who the winner is. So it's a secret.
It's got to be. Just wait. Yeah.
And I know it. I know it. Yeah.
And then
I'm having a hard time not telling everybody.
What about the brewery?
Oh, so at the brewery we have Blake Weirs.
Okay.
And Blake is our Monday night DJ. He is the professor that does rock country. Right here on KCHW.
Excellent.
Yeah.
He's the artist at the
He
brewery?
is. He's at Quartzsite Brewing, and he has a fun technique. He uses a lot of recycled, repurposed materials. And he has a lot of
painter.
Yeah, he's a painter.
That's what I heard.
He does painting, he does digital art. He's very, very fun artist. And
sounds like he's very diverse, and I like repurposed, the idea of.
Yeah, he focuses a lot on, he really puts his focus on sort of, the environment and reusing these materials and turning trash into something beautiful.
Excellent.
Yeah. And then Karen Starkey and Lynn Cassidy are going to be at the Spotlight Gallery.
Excellent.
So let's see here. I have, so Karen Starkey she's a painter. And I'm not sure. We'll go to the Spotlight Gallery tonight and find out her medium.
You and I were guessing by the image on the flyer there that it looks as if it was acrylic, but we're really going to find out today.
Yeah.
And
then Lynn Cassidy with a wee bit leather, an amazing leather worker. It's just beautiful stuff.
Beautiful. I treated myself to a piece.
Oh,
yeah. It's just spontaneously, and it ended up being one of John's originals. It was pretty special. I just kind of looked, because at the market I'm super busy, so I just kind of ran over because I wanted to treat myself, because she had her leather work and everything. I love what they've done and what she's doing. So I just kind of went, looked around, and then I said that one. So I popped it on. It was perfect. And,
nice.
And it was stamped from John, and it says Cody, Wyoming.
Oh.
Wee bit letter. So it's just perfect. I really, really love wearing it. I don't have it on me because it's early morning. I haven't really gotten completely adorned yet.
Right. You got to wait till at least noon for that.
Well, at least 9:30 or so.
Pardon me, I got a little bit of tickle in my throat this morning. All right, so I was going to say something, but now I don't remember what it was. Oh, I think Lynn is going to be actually with the
Creative District.
Well,
tomorrow you guys going to have a booth at the farmers market?
Yeah. There's going to be a booth. I think she's going to be there,
and maybe Lynn.
Chris is going to be there for sure, but I think the Children's Art Festival at Summerfest.
Oh, she's going to be helping.
Yeah, Lynn. I think Lynn is going to
be one of the presenters.
I think she's going to be teaching kids some work with leather. I think they're going to be making keychains, I believe.
That's awesome. That's wonderful. That is wonderful.
It's very exciting. And we do have Monica Volz. Is it Vols or Volts?
Volts.
Volts. Okay. Monica Volts and Gail Johannes are going to be joining us No, Gail Shirape, sorry. Gail Johannes is an artist. Well, so is Gail. Both Gails.
Gales, yeah.
The Gales are all
Incredible.
artists.
So they're going to come on the air.
Yeah, Gail Shirape
Oh, good.
and Monica Volz are going to be on us Tuesday at 4 p.m. for a special show
Excellent.
to talk about the Children's Art Festival.
Perfect.
So make sure we get the word out for that. That's going to be a good one. Let's see. Back to our calendar. Again, don't forget about we're also going to have a busker outside of the Aaron Huff Memorial Center today, playing some music for us. Craig and the Brats are going to be playing over at Fired Up Pizza.
Oh, yeah. Yes, indeed.
And then
That's awesome.
It's going to be a fun night. The weather's not going to be too hot. It's going to be a little bit later in the day, so it'll start cooling down a hair.
So since we're talking about the Children's Art Festival, I'm happy to say that you guys collaborated because the Summer Fest is happening at the same time.
Yeah.
Different times maybe, but the same day.
Yeah.
So the kids usually starts early,
Yeah.
and then you'll segue into. I just love that the community worked collaboratively on that because it's super important.
Well,
Might as well have it together.
Oh yeah, and it brings lots of that. It brings a bigger crowd to both.
Well, and just as fun for just the diversity and fun for kids, and then the music later and the different booths, and
exactly.
That's exactly.
And I believe the Children's Art Festival starts at 9.
Mm-hmm. Usually at 9.
The opening ceremony for the Summerfest starts at 9:45 on the main stage.
Okay.
So we're gonna have an opening ceremony, and then the presentation of boxes and hats. The first one is going to be at 10 a.m.
on the center stage.
It's not going to be on center stage.
It's going to be over by the pavilion.
Yeah, it's going to be back over by the children's pavilion.
Like they always have that spot.
Yeah,
that little spot.
The spot with the trees where it's
That's
nice and
right,
shady.
nice and cool.
Yeah, they have little benches set up for the kids out there. That's going to be fun. I'm really excited to see what they're doing. Actually,
right, and I'm going to donate the use of my handmade hula hoops. And
Nice.
rumor has it there might be some like relay with some hoop.
Oh, that would be
And
fun.
if you want to, when they're done, we should have somebody bring those hoops over. And just when you're done with the evening, it's super fun with we know the live music and people just like to hoop. So if you can put those in storage, that would be great because I'm hoping to come back. But I've got about 7 handmade ones, and so I'm gathered up. I loaned a few out because people at the park, I bring them to the park. And when I see a kid that's really getting into it, I go, hey, go ahead, take that home for a while. Give it a go.
That's
and
awesome.
So I'm gathering them all up. But a relay, I've never done it. I've done all kinds of tricks with hoops, but I've never done a hoop relay. That's what I've heard rumor. But
do they run? Do they run with the hoops while they're hula hooping?
This another person that's, like I said, my girlfriend's turning 70.
Yeah,
so I'm decided to go to her celebration in the morning, but they had asked me to present, and then I said, well, you guys can use my hoops because they're really fun.
Oh yeah.
And so I have no idea what a hula hoop relay is.
I'm interested to know now.
Yeah.
And I'm fascinated. You probably are one yourself. The hoop dancers.
I can hoop a little bit, but boy, I tell you, I've seen some incredible ones that just.
They move that hula hoop like water.
I know. I am definitely love to dance. I can hoop. But I've seen some hoop dancers that are amazing.
Yeah, just the way the fluidity of their movement,
what they can do, and how they,
incredible.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, so then, we kind of got ahead a little bit. Let's move back to the current time. That's okay. I'm really excited about Summerfest. It's going to be a good one.
It is, and then we've talked about our 4th of July, right? When you're ready, about the special things that are happening at the market.
Exactly, and that's happening tomorrow morning. Oh, of course, actually, tonight still, Craig Meyer Karaoke is going to be at the Oasis.
Oh, okay, he's going to be doing
at 8:30. I think it's DJ JD is going to be there doing the karaoke.
Awesome, that's always fun.
Yeah. All right, and then so last week he had a Summerween.
He did.
Special, and I didn't make it. I was really hoping to. By the time I got out of rehearsal for The Tempest, I was exhausted and I just wanted to get home. But
I actually didn't think I was going to make it either. But I told you I was going to take some people for my brother's birthday.
Yeah.
So we went out. We went early for food, and then we went back home to cake and all that stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And then a friend of mine, I won't mention names, said, "I'm going back there to have some fun." And I'm saying, "Okay, why not?" So I didn't know what to dress up like, right? Yeah. But I had this beautiful headdress that's from the mountains of Thailand, like really cool. So I just plopped that on and just went with it. But it was kind of fun because I had to it's almost like you have to balance it out. So you could just kind of do a little bit more like Egyptian moves because it has to stay on your head. And I don't know. It was fun. I had a good time.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Then, so tomorrow morning is the Chewelah Farmers Market.
It is.
And they're starting early.
They are.
So the farmers market
holiday.
Yep. It starts at 10. And what they want to do is they want to make sure that people can get out in time if people are traveling for the holiday,
Mm-hmm.
going to a friend's house or getting out of town. So the farmers market tomorrow, special time, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
And the ceremony starts at noon.
Yep.
There's going to be the beautiful Rochelle Bauman
Bauman, yes.
singing the national anthem with the color guard.
Yep.
And then I guess Senator Shelley Short's going to be speaking.
Yes, she
There'll
will be.
patriotic songs, and Tom McLean's going to be there playing some music.
Yes, he will be.
And that's awesome.
That's great. And
I look forward to it.
was it Tom and his wife? I think Tom and his wife are both going to be there, or is it just Tom?
I'm just not sure. But I talked to Ryan,
Yeah.
our lovely manager, and he did mention Tom McLean, so I'm
Yeah.
sure his wife will join him.
Yeah.
They're such a great duo.
They are. And he was on our show yesterday talking
I
about
heard
it. Yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's awesome.
I just don't always remember things, just as a
Well,
general
you know,
rule.
it's okay. How can you remember everything?
Especially this early in the morning. Ooh.
Ooh.
And the reminder from the Chamber of Commerce for the holiday, they're not having their Chamber of Commerce meeting tomorrow.
Right, okay.
So that's
that
not,
makes sense.
not happening tomorrow. Then adult pickleball, again, not sure if this is happening or not because of the holiday, but typically adult pickleball is up at the golf course from 8:30 to 11:30. Actually, that's right. We just got a notice that they're actually starting at 8 a.m. now. So it's going to be 8 to 11 to sort of beat the heat.
Oh, that's a good idea
so
for summer.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
so they're getting started a little early so they can get out there playing some pickleball before it gets too hot.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah. And pickleball, man, that's taking the country by storm. It's
I know,
taking the
we've talked
world
about
by
that.
storm.
I mean, honestly, I guess I should just at least go play a game.
Yeah.
Check it out. Like the beginners. I need
Yeah.
the beginner, because you said there's,
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Wednesdays is soft pickleball. Is what they
Soft.
call it.
okay.
And that's where they take it easy on the newbies. and
that'd be me.
And they have extra paddles that they can use. You don't
They
have
start at 8 too, early
yeah,
for
yeah,
the
they're,
summer?
They're going to be
Okay.
starting at 8 for the summer.
Mhm. And that happens, where's the court again?
It is 243 Par Place. It's just up past the clubhouse on the golf course.
Okay.
I think if the parking lot behind the Rusty Putter is open, you can shortcut through there, but I don't think you can when the golf course is open during
Right.
summer because that's where they have all the golf carts, and it's handicapped only.
So I heard that the Infusion Band did an incredible. We did some good promo. They were packed.
Yeah, I
last
heard that.
Saturday.
I heard they had a great show, and I'm
I was
excited
house
for 'em.
sitting, and I just wasn't able to get down there because I have to go up the mountains, you know. And but I was so grateful that it was just packed, and that wonderful concert that we all went to,
Me-
Igor and the
I
Red
know,
Velvet,
man.
the Red Elvises. Wow,
I
that
really-
was so much fun.
It really was.
It was a great. People were having fun. They were happy. Lots of dancing, and just to see a lot of different folks out and about.
Yes.
And it was a mixed age group, which I appreciated very much.
There were some kids out there
I just
dancing
I love the
whole
mix.
time.
Yeah, that'd be moi too.
Right.
The
You
big kid at
were
home.
one of the kids out there dancing.
I don't think I sat down.
You didn't.
I
You were
don't
out there
think
the whole
I
time.
did. It was just so. It just does my soul. It just helps me. It's like a healing for me.
And,
For
and
many of us, but it's just, and people who do their own thing, they just maybe like to watch the incredible musicians and just sit and feel that. And some
Yeah.
people, you know, it's whatever you feel comfortable with, right?
Oh, yeah.
But it was everybody's connection that I felt, the positive,
Yep.
you know, and to have you guys bring, and Craig, you know, in the radio station, to bring that caliber of band.
Oh yeah.
And what characters?
They were so funny.
They were funny, and
know,
they
and
all wore really cool outfits, which I appreciate, and great
Yeah.
shoes. I wore my holographic Doc Martens tight
Nice.
tops. I was like, yeah,
Nice.
So, and I realized, and every band member had on a really unique pair of shoes or boots or whatever. It was
They
fun.
really did.
yeah. They're
And their music was so tight. They were so professional
Yes,
And-
it's so fun,
and funny.
funny.
I mean,
and then the traditional dun 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 dun.
yeah.
Got people clapping and doing fun, and that's what I love about the ethnic diversity of
And-
you know.
And then they would go from some really intense sort of rockabilly fun song,
I
and then
know.
they go into a polka song.
I know it was great.
It was awesome.
It was super fun.
It was a fun night. I hope we can get them back here. They're coming
Well,
back through the area in
Let's,
August, and
let's get
no
more live
promises
music.
yet.
We, utilizing like here with a
Yeah.
more laid back or whatever. Beautiful. Your setting here is
Yeah, yeah.
awesome. Obviously the Pack Center and then the stage.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's on the event energy of.
It is.
the
It really
future.
is.
Yeah.
It really is. I'd love to start
You got
using that
that
stage
sound
in the park
system.
more.
Mhm.
We do. We've got a great sound
I
system in
love
the park.
live music.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And then we also have a reminder from the Loon Lake Historical Society, the Old Schoolhouse Museum, The gift shop and the history room are open on Saturdays during the summer from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. There's a whole bunch of great stuff you can go and check out. And of course, they've been working for a long time to get that schoolhouse restored. And
it's super nice. Nice ladies too that run it. They're really sweet.
Yeah,
and they care. They care about their historical society.
They really do. They really do. And our very own Melissa Silvio, she's very involved in that project as well.
Absolutely.
And you can also, if you go there, you can add your own family history to their archives.
Oh,
and get,
at the Loon Lake
yeah,
one? Oh,
yeah,
man,
yeah. And then
awesome.
as people go through and peruse all the history and stuff, they can learn about your family too.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's very cool. So if you want to learn more about that, you can visit the Loon Lake Historical Society.com, or you can email llhistorical@gmail.com. And of course, somewhere right here, I'm going to show it to the camera here really quick. If you're listening on the radio, you can't see it, but those of you online can see this. This when they first started raising money for the schoolhouse, they put out these little keychain or their Christmas ornaments. Yeah. And I
little
just,
miniature replicas.
Yeah, and I just love this thing. Have you seen these before?
No.
Oh, they're so adorable. It's a little teeny. Oops, I'm trying to get it on camera there. A little teeny Christmas ornament, little white schoolhouse from Valley. I love them.
So that's different than the Loon Lake, though. That's Valley.
Well, it's the Loon Lake Historical Society that does that's doing that little white schoolhouse. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah. It's run through there. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's same historical society.
I really appreciate that. I mean, she's passed on, but Jackie Franks, what an incredible soul.
Yeah.
She worked really hard. And Melissa, and then, of course, Jesse, Teresa's son, he's really involved, I think.
I'm not sure. And Jackie just recently passed away, correct? Yeah.
But she was the matriarch. And a talented watercolor painter.
Yeah.
And really wonderful soul. Nurse for years in all the schools and everything.
I've heard great things about her.
Oh,
yeah.
And it's just a sweet soul.
And I know Melissa, who's our fundraising director here at the station.
Yes.
And a huge part of our station, a good friend of mine, good friend of yours.
Absolutely.
A good friend of the Govider family in general.
Yep. Absolutely.
Really, really, it kind of broke her up a little bit.
Oh, it was a moving, yes. And Orla, of course, was one of our original teachers at our center at the Greenwood Institute. She's very involved, right? And speaking of the horse, Chuck, say a little something on the radio about the lead stallion.
So the Govider stallion that's been in the park. I think there's a lot of people that they see it, they drive by. What is that horse doing there? So obviously that is part of the Grandfather Let's Loose the Ponies.
It's a very original one that David created.
Exactly.
We traveled with that stallion all through Washington State before the sculpture was on the hill.
Yeah.
So we had to get money from the Grants County, tourists and all kinds of different things. And I think I shared, there's a colored rendition of the basket, and that's designed. It's just that's a whole separate fundraiser, but the horses are incredible. So that horse traveled before the horse was even on the hill. So I was super a part of that, and again, ground all the horses. But we are honored to have that in our park.
We are.
And people are a little confused because they knew that I was, have a son with David, Mr. Forrest.
Yes.
So clarify a couple things on that, realizing that it's up to be the lease needs to be renewed. It's not. People said, well, I thought the city paid for that. So there's a lot of confusion, but it was individual businesses. Thank you to Rich and Peggy.
Well, there was some of the funding came from the
tourism,
the lodging tax funds, which actually
motel, hotel.
Which most of those funds actually come from other parts of the state. What it is, the state gathers those funds from all the, bed and breakfasts, hotels. It's the lodging tax, and then that gets distributed out to other areas, and low-income rural areas like we are actually get a larger percentage of those funds that come in, and they're meant to increase tourism in the area. And given that sculpture, that horse is part of the most viewed art piece in Washington State.
It is the most popular.
It is.
And it really is. And to have it in our park in the first year of the installation, it was a lot of, different lighting and the base and things like that. So if anybody wants to, how would they get? I have a couple brochures too, and I'll be at the park.
Yeah.
How do people donate? Even if it's like whatever.
So there's a QR code on those posters.
Okay.
There's posters around town.
There are. I have a few.
Yeah. There's brochures that are going to be at the Friday market and the Summerfest.
Right.
What you can do is you point your camera at that QR code,
Right.
and then you can go online. You can donate funds to keep the horse in the park.
Excellent.
And the horse, to me, it not only does it honor David Govadier, who is our most well-known,
Yeah, the
beloved
studio
artist.
is right, and Forrest has been, David's right-hand person for years.
Yeah.
And people don't realize that because, he's quite diverse, but he
Yeah.
really was with David for many, many years. He learned how to weld when he's like 7 years old.
He's an
And
excellent welder.
He's worked on the projects throughout. He wasn't born yet with the horses.
Yeah.
I'm one of the horses, and the little colt is behind me, which we didn't even know we were going to have little Forrest. So it was pretty
You
special.
didn't know you were going to have a little colt?
Well, we didn't know, and the colt just happened to be behind moi.
That's
But we
awesome.
traveled with that horse to Chelmsford Winery before the gorge was even a concept. That's how powerful. We
Oh,
used
yeah.
to sit out, put tables out, and the print, and it was it's a legendary piece.
Oh, yeah.
It's legendary. So, anybody want to donate a little bit towards that, and then $1,000 donation for anybody, business or
Mhm.
whatever. There's going to be the Grandfather Cuts Loose the Ponies print, which is worth $350.
Yeah.
So Forrest
And
is arranging
signed-
it, signed by David. Yeah,
Yep.
and so Forrest is donating that piece. The print.
Right.
It's quite beautiful.
They are gorgeous.
Yeah. So that's the little thing there.
And
Since-
not only that, the if you look at the orientation of the horse is heading home.
Heading home.
Back to
Open the gates, baby.
exactly.
Yeah.
Back to where the horse was originally created.
Right.
Back to the-
It's pretty special.
back to the property.
Really special. People were funny at first said they thought we took it off the hill and brought it. I'm like,
No.
come on now.
No. And to me, it not only honors David, which is really, really important, but it also honors the spirit of our creatives in the community.
Absolutely.
And it really shows
it's
sort of this
the freedom of the horse.
Yeah.
I mean, there is nothing more beautiful to watch than a horse running or galloping or just
Right.
stand. And they're so beautiful and just how could you not love
And
horses?
it's part of our state's 100-year
Oh my
celebration.
gosh, centennial. Yeah.
It's not only tied to the most viewed art piece in the state. It's tied to David. It's tied to our
To our
local
town,
community. It's tied to our
Chihuahua.
town,
Yes.
and it's a piece of history
It
right here in
is.
Chihuahua,
It really is.
we're really fortunate to have it there,
Yep.
and we'd love to keep it. So
Oh yeah. So
yeah,
donate if you want.
yeah, please,
Please do.
please do.
I'm gonna go out and look for our
And-
guest.
Oh yeah, and it's stunning. It's stunning out there in the park, isn't it?
I think
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. It's heartfelt for me in many deep ways,
Oh, absolutely.
personally.
Well, you go out there and
Yeah, is that okay? I'm gonna go check.
yeah, you go. I'm going to finish up the calendar here. So we have the all ages Blues and Brews Jam at Fired Up Pizza, hosted by the Dinosaurs. That's happening Sunday from 4 to 8 p.m. Then going back on to Monday, we have adult pickleball back up at the golf course from 8 a.m. now to 11 o'clock. Then we have Stage Time Summer Theater. The summer program starts. This is their summer camp. So it says you can join us for a fun-filled week of theater exploration at Stage Time Theater Summer School. This year's theme is Boxes and Hats. What's in the box? This is a week of discovery. It invites students to dive into their imaginations and bring their original stories to life. The tuition is $65. This is for the full week. Students are reminded to bring a sack lunch each day. The program concludes with performances at the Chihuahua City Park on July 12th. That is during Summerfest. That's going to be showcasing what the students have created throughout the week. And if you've never been to these before, they're actually a really great, fun show. The kids do a really great job with those. Janet, who runs the Stage Time Theater program, does an amazing job with these kids. It's a lot of fun. Again, come during Summerfest and walk over. They're going to be in the back on the backside of the creek, under the trees. You can go ahead and check them out and see what the kids have been up to all week. And I personally am fascinated by the idea of boxes and hats. We all know you buy the toy for the kids, throw away the toy, keep the box, just like a cat, right? All right, so then that's happening all week long. We have story time at the Chihuahua Public Library. This is Tuesday from 10:30 to 11:30. We got the Chihuahua Creative District Board of Directors meeting happening at 6 a.m. to 7:30. This is at the Aaron Huff Memorial Cultural Center upstairs. Then a reminder on Wednesday, those chamber newsletter items are due for chamber members. And so let's take a minute. Is our guest out there?
She is not. But
Oh, not yet. Okay. Well, that's okay because we generally go to break about 8:15. We still got a few minutes left.
Okay, she hasn't been here before, so.
Oh, do you want
Go ahead.
to take a minute and text her?
Well, just go ahead.
Okay, yeah.
Carry on. I'm just going to make sure that they know they do know. She was very excited.
Yeah, we're just hitting a couple highlights for next week. Of course, Wednesday.
Right here, a little lost.
That's okay. Go help them out there. We just want to remind everybody again, Saturday the 12th is the Chihuahua Summerfest. Now, this is going to be a great show. We've got bands all day. We've got a lot of fun activities. There's going to be a bounce house. Of course, the Children's Art Festival is happening, put on by the Chihuahua Art. I don't know if she found her or not. Put on by the Arts Guild. A lot of fun stuff. And then we have great live music happening all day on the main stage. We'll learn more about that all tomorrow. We've got some great names. I know Craig Meyer Karaoke's putting on a singer showcase. We have a wonderful young country singer. She is, I believe, from Kettle Falls or Northport, named Danny Bacon. She's going to be performing there. It's her first time ever performing in Chihuahua. She's going to knock your socks off. We have our very own Chihuahua's Got Talent 2025 winner, Matthew Tippich, is going to be putting on a show, and I lost count of how many instruments he's going to be bringing, but he is really going to bring the house down. We have Zach Pass coming, Planetary Refugees. Oh, gosh, Infusion, one of our favorite local bands here. And kicking things off for the night, or ending things off at the end of the night, we're bringing back Nate Ostrander. He's going to be joining us next Wednesday on our Wednesday morning show to talk a little bit more about what to expect. And he's going to be singing songs from his new album, Lover's Will. If you missed him when he performed here at the radio station, I believe it was earlier this winter, absolutely amazing show. Just phenomenal musician, great band. You're not going to want to miss that. Of course, we have performances from the Stephens County Stompers. The Taekwondo kids are going to be there. Oh, man, there's so much kind of rolling out all at once. I'm having a hard time spitting it out, but it's going to be a great one. All right. Well, with that said, I'm going to go ahead. We're going to take our break a little bit early. We're going to thank our sponsors. We're going to listen to some news, and we'll be right back with myself, Gina, and our special guest, Gabby, right after this. We'll be right back, everybody. Stay tuned right here to KCHW 102.7, Northern Lights Public Radio.
Your KCHW Morning Show is made possible by donations from
Colville Toyota. Colville Toyota, located at 160 West 3rd Avenue in Colville, offers new and used vehicle sales and service. Vehicle sales is open 8:30 a.m. till 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday, with a Toyota Express Maintenance Center open 7:30 a.m. till 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. More information on Colville Toyota's vehicle inventory and services is available at colvilletoyota.com. A small-town dealership with a big heart.
and by Chihuahua Flooring.
Chihuahua Flooring at 214 East Clay in the 3rd Street Mall offers a wide variety of products including carpet, ceramic and porcelain tile, vinyl and laminate planks, and vinyl sheet flooring. Chihuahua Flooring carries products for both commercial businesses and residential homes, including brands like National Flooring, Del Tile, Mannington, and Mohawk. They also offer blind repair. For more information, you can visit online at chihuahuaflooring.com, call 509-935-8021, or via email at chihuahuaflooring@gmail.com.
Broadcasting from beautiful Chihuahua, Washington, this is Northern Lights Public Radio, KCHW 102.7. Your KCHW Morning Show, made possible by a donation from God-Fearing Brothers Auto Center. God-Fearing Brothers specializes in auto services, including repair, maintenance, and detailing. They also stock a full selection of tires, make glass repairs, offer towing, and have an auto sales lot on the corner of Highway 395 and Main Street at the light. For more information, you can visit the Auto Service Center at 806 East Main in Chihuahua. Find them online at godfearingbrothers.com or by phone at 509-935-6414. KCHW-FM thanks God-fearing brothers for supporting public radio in Stevens County.
The Public News Service Daily Newscast for July 3rd, 2025. I'm Joe Ullery. House Republicans worked late into the night Wednesday to flip holdouts on a sweeping budget bill. Party leaders paused floor business as talks continued. President Trump and top aides met with conservatives and moderates aiming to lock in enough votes. If the federal government finalizes the budget reconciliation bill in play, pro-consumer voices in Minnesota warn that changes won't be friendly to monthly bills for energy customers. Mike Moen has more.
The analysts point to new findings from the nonpartisan think tank Energy Innovation, which looked at provisions in the Senate version from this week. It says the plan would cause Minnesotans' home electricity costs to rise by 28% over the next decade. Annie Levinson-Falk of the Citizens Utility Board of Minnesota says that's because Republican lawmakers are poised to eliminate clean energy tax credits while expanding new oil and gas leasing.
If we can't build as much wind and solar and renewables, then we're not just going to be building more gas plants, but running kind of inefficient, more costly gas plants more than we would have to.
Levinson-Falk says many Minnesotans are already struggling with their utility costs, and the advancement of cleaner energy sources has prevented things from getting worse. Fossil fuel-linked groups are cheering the proposed measure, including America's Power, which says incentives for renewables are no longer needed and that they're pushing out sources like coal prematurely. These debates remain at the forefront, with energy demand predicted to spike in the coming years.
A judge denied bond for Sean Diddy Combs after a jury convicted him on prostitution-related charges. The jury cleared the 55-year-old of sex trafficking and racketeering. The verdict followed 3 days of deliberations. Combs now faces up to 10 years in prison. The conviction could end his career in music, fashion, and television. Despite debate in Washington over ending incentives to help Alaska's smallest places move away from traditional oil and gas-based power generation in the most remote parts of Alaska, one village above the Arctic Circle has found success and has plans to invest.
Kotlik, a Yupik native village nestled on the banks of the Yukon River, is using alternative energy as an economic driver. Village CEO and President Richard Bender says Kotlik has developed a three-phase plan to move away from oil and gas-based power to generate electricity for its 600 residents.
Phase 1 is to purchase a battery storage system and switch gear. Phase 2 is to produce renewable energy using solar panels. Phase 3 is production of electricity using wind turbines.
Despite the success of places like Kotlik and its aggressive plans for future alternative energy development, Washington lawmakers are debating a budget bill that would eliminate tax incentives for investing in clean power in rural Alaska, which could reduce funding for the projects the village depends on.
This is Public News Service. More than 1,100 caregivers at Portland's Providence St. Vincent Medical Center have voted to unionize, joining the Service Employees International Union Local 49. Hospital staffers, including certified nursing assistants, cooks, lab assistants, pharmacy techs, environmental workers, and patient representatives will soon begin collective bargaining with management over a new work contract. New union member Finn McCool, who works in the hospital's food service department, says changes to working conditions in the hospital were a major driver to organize.
There's a lot that makes St. Vincent a great place to work, but we've also seen just tons of changes over the years around staffing and benefits. So my fellow caregivers really knew that jobs were only going to get harder.
The St. Vincent caregivers will join with thousands of other unionized workers at Providence hospitals in Oregon, Washington State, and other parts of the country. Providence officials released a statement recognizing the union and saying they were prepared to work with them towards a new contract. McCool says the company made several changes to staffing and work policies without feedback from its employees. He says changes to the employees' health care benefits caused a major upheaval. Environmental and wildlife conservation in Montana took hits during this year's state legislative session, including vetoes from the governor on bills that received bipartisan support.
Among bills Governor Greg Gianforte vetoed was House Bill 477, which would have phased out some single-use styrofoam food containers in favor of those made from Montana agricultural byproducts. The bill's sponsor, Democratic Representative Marilyn Marler of Missoula, Marla says it's discouraging when such a bipartisan effort is vetoed.
Because it seems to me he did not listen to a wide variety of people, even in his own party. I think that with this particular bill, it just didn't send the right message about what our values are.
Tourism and recreation are important and growing industries in the state, and Marler says people don't come here to see trash. Constituents can see how their lawmakers voted on conservation this session on the Montana Conservation Voters 2025 Legislative Scorecard. I'm Kathleen Shannon.
And a small fox that lives on 6 of the 8 Channel Islands off the coast of Southern California is thriving after near extinction.
The island fox, found nowhere else on Earth, was listed as endangered in 2004 when only about 30 remained. A multi-agency recovery effort that started in 1999 resulted in the fastest comeback of any terrestrial mammal under the Endangered Species Act. Photographer Chuck Graham has traveled to the islands to chronicle their recovery and share the story.
It wouldn't have happened with all the work of the biologists and everything. I mean, otherwise, if it wasn't successful, then it would have been a really big disappointment, but everything worked out.
Revered by the island's early indigenous people, the fox weighs just 4 pounds, smaller than the average house cat. I'm Roz Brown.
This is Joe Ullery for Public News Service, member and listener supported. Find our trust indicators at publicnewsservice.org.
Good morning, everybody. We are back with the KCHW Morning Show. We are back with myself here, Chuck Ritchie. We have the ever lovely Gina Greenwood.
Okay.
And we have our special guest
back.
today, Gabby. Good morning, Gabby. Don't forget to stay really close to that mic.
Good morning. Hello.
How are you today?
Good. How are you doing?
Welcome to the radio. I'm good. Good. Thank you for asking. Welcome to the radio show.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm super excited to be here.
And you said this is your first time ever on radio.
This is my first time ever being anywhere cool. Yeah.
Well, I love that you said it's cool at least. I bet you've been to some
Although
cool.
she's been on stage quite a few times we're going to hear about.
Yeah, I'm guessing this isn't your first time somewhere cool, but I do appreciate the thought.
This cool. I've done a couple things, but this is probably one of the most exciting things in a while.
That's awesome. I love that. I love you're making me.
And
you're
I
making me
know,
blush.
it's very moving. And we said earlier how I met Gabriella. And,
Yes.
At the camp. She went in. She'll tell you her story.
Yeah.
How did you go into the rec center and tell us?
You want me to, okay.
Tell us.
I don't know. I just was kind of anxious and I was kind of bored and I was like, I need to do something. So I went to Canham. I don't even know how to pronounce that. We're just going to go. And I went to the Parks and Rec office and was like, hey, is there any positions for volunteer spots? And it was so cool. The stars aligned and they were like, oh, yeah, we got this yoga and art program and they're looking for a volunteer. And I was like, that is going to be the best thing ever. So that's how I met.
Parted, and the angels sang.
We all
that's
just
how I
got
met
along.
Gina.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Marcy.
We got along so well. She was such a wonderful volunteer. Marcy and I said, oh, she kind of reminds us of us and our youth because I've volunteered still to this day.
Yeah.
But it's so important. And it was such a great fit. You were just the natural and such a shining light. And then we got to talking. And then I find out she's a belly dancer. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
we got to talk. So she's going to talk about her performance troupe and her experience in dance and carry on, Miss Gabby.
That's awesome. Well, I want to talk a little more about this before we move on to that, though. So this was a youth camp, right?
Yes.
Yoga, dance, and art.
And so what were you helping with? What were you teaching?
I wasn't teaching anything, but I was just supporting the teachers and helping kids with activities and encouraging them to do everything.
And you enjoyed it. You said we had some great program. We had some fun.
Aw.
It was so awesome.
Of course.
I'm definitely going to do it again.
Nice.
And Marcy and I are going to do it again together because we had known each other for a long time, but this is the first time we actually collaborated.
Yeah.
And it was pretty nice, pretty wonderful.
It was so fun.
Yeah.
And what were the age groups of the kids that you were working with there?
I think 6 years old
I think
up until
the youngest was like 5.
Oh, okay, 5. And then there was like 15 kids. And the oldest was, I don't know,
11.
11-ish. So
Yeah.
that kind of age group.
And what were there specific styles of dancing, or were you kind of going through?
We did yoga to begin,
Okay.
opening with Marcy, and then I led this movement section with my
super fun
eclectic
Nice.
style and my props and everything, and then we segued into art. So we had every day. That's what we did. It was super fun.
Yeah.
And then your djembe. And I have a
Nice.
djembe, and I brought these beautiful instruments from all over because I like to have children hold the instrument, know where where it came from. All these gorgeous ones. Marcy had some as well. So we led a little drum session with some little.
That was so cute.
It was so fun.
Awesome.
Yeah. So and then we had lots of art projects. Yeah, it was a great week.
Yeah. I got art from kids.
Oh,
It's nice.
She
I
was
had
gifted.
Yeah.
That's always
that's
special.
the best kind of
It
art
is
it always
they
you know
felt-
it comes from their heart.
and they cared, and they resonated with her, and we all got little art pieces. It was so
Yeah.
sweet.
It was awesome.
So sweet.
What kind of art were the kids making? Were they drawing or?
All kinds of things.
Kinds. I brought my dyed sand. We did sand mandalas.
Yes.
And then I like to repurpose. We did scratch board that Marcy had with the black, but when
Yeah.
you scratch with a stylized stick, so to speak, rainbow colors come out, and those were
Beautiful.
super fun. And then I brought some cat cans. I recycle a lot, and then we made maracas because we knew we were going to do music. So the kids, we had painter's tape, and the kids, we've discovered that Sharpies work really well just on tin cans. Got to take all the labels off and
Yeah.
wash them and everything. And they made some really cool shakers. I made a few. You made some. And what other art did we do? We did a lot of stuff.
There was also wood shapes that we did, and bookmarks.
Yep.
Some kids did some bookmarks.
Our dear friend that does the birdhouses, he's not able to do the market, but he donated for one of the Winterfests that I did these scrolled animals, and they're wonderful. They're just wood,
Yeah.
and there's a hole so they can string something through it. But markers, colored pencils, it's the texture of the wood that picks up on the colored pencils.
Yeah.
It was super unique though, because I mean, these shapes, some of them look like animals and some of them just kind of look like random shapes, and it was so cool to see all the kids be so creative and create animals out of these wood shapes.
Yeah, to interpret these shapes. And I said, whatever you want it to be. It's what you see it as an artist, which is true. We all see shapes.
I love that.
different. Yeah.
I love that you mentioned the scratch boards. Because we have somewhere in our storage, because we used to have the makerspace here, we have like a couple big boxes of they're little square ones.
Yeah,
with
they're like with wooden. You should find those. They're fun. And
they
they're
are
really
fun.
easy to do. As far as easy, meaning if kids get done with a project that you start with and there's a little extra time, it's like a perfect little segue. Like we always want to have something to choose. If they're done
Yeah.
with what we were doing, then have a little backup.
Well, and I think we all have our own neurodivergency. Almost every one of us.
Yep.
But I have a daughter who's on the autism spectrum, and one of the things growing up with her was she loved the scratch boards, and we would make our own.
Oh yeah.
And what we would do is we would take photographs, take our own art, and we'd laminate it, and then you paint it black with a flat black paint, just any standard latex paint you can get from the hardware store, and you paint it black. You do about 3 or 4 layers, so it's nice and thick. And then
so you would laminate first. The
do
image.
it.
Okay,
So that way
gotcha.
it kept it safe.
That's
Yeah.
safe.
And then
that's
you can make your own scratch
Then you
boards,
just
and you
add
can scratch
to-
it off,
yeah.
and
That's great.
and create your own artwork, and then you can use the scratch boards to sort of add a different dimension to your own art. And some of the
Fabulous.
stuff that we made with it was very,
It's
very
really
creative.
Great. Yeah.
And honestly, it kept her from pulling the paint off her walls in her bedroom.
Yeah, that's always a plus.
Well, for her, it was a stim thing of peeling
Yeah.
anything that peels, she would peel it, and that was really a great thing. She
Well,
could
that's
sit there in her
wonderful,
room
yeah.
and on her desk and scratch away. And some of the stuff she created was
So
pretty incredible,
right?
Yeah,
For sure.
fun art form.
Yeah.
So you are also in another dance troupe. I want to talk a little bit about this.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I am part of the Mystical Phoenix group. It's a modern belly dance troupe in Colville, Washington. It's about a 30-minute drive from here, give or take. And it was founded in 2008, and I've been with the group ever since. My mom was dancing, and I've been dancing since I was in the womb. And the first time I performed on my own, it was 2013, and I was 2 years old.
Wow.
And so I got the name Baby Phoenix.
Baby Phoenix. I loved that. I got chills.
That is great.
I was just so happy. This
Yeah,
is awesome.
It's stuck with me ever since, and it's really cool. I love it so much. We blend a lot of contemporary belly dance styles, and improv and choreographed moves, and it's so fun. It's like so spontaneous, but also so like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just beautiful. I really like it.
When you guys do dance routines, is it? Do you guys have pre-scheduled things? Do you throw events where you do performances, or do you get hired to sort of go along with other things?
We get hired most of the time. It's that's one of our next performance that we're doing is in Kenham Park Celebration, Friday, July 18th at 11 a.m. and Saturday, July 19th at 3 p.m. So that's going to be super fun if you want to come join us.
In the
Center
Colville,
stage.
right? The Colville Park, they're going to be doing a festival that weekend.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Very cool.
And Gabriella, right?
Yes.
She's 14, by the way, everybody. 14. So she's our inspired youth, and I'm so honored to have her here with us and to have met her. We're going to do future stuff together.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
For certain.
No, yeah.
That's awesome. So you plan on keeping going with dancing. Do you have any specific plans in your future? Do you want to take any kind of lessons in college or keep going?
Many plans.
Ooh, a girl with a young woman with plans.
I want to
Inspired
hear.
plans.
I want to hear what you have planned.
Yeah.
I love dancing, and that's part of it's creative, it's fun, it's weird, it's quirky, and I love that, and it's a way to express myself, and but my main future when I eventually get there is I want to be a teacher like my mom.
Mm-hmm.
Mama.
Look at mom over there.
Is that a problem, Mama? What do you want to teach? What's your inspiration to teach?
I want to either be an early and elementary teacher or a special education teacher.
Nice.
Again, like my mom, because if you ask somebody who their favorite teacher is, 99% of them are gonna say a teacher from elementary or someone from that, because it's building the base and the base blocks to that. And so my favorite way to get started with that path was volunteer with youth. So that's why I went to, that's why I went to the Parks and Rec office in Colville, Washington. And it was perfect. The stars aligned. And I plan on continuing that until I am old enough to go to college and then pursue the rest of my career.
Nice.
So I've invited her, of course, to come to any Friday market that she wants to come to help, because we had so much fun together. Mm-hmm. And then I met her grandma.
Yes.
Right? And they invited me just to come to one of their rehearsals, because I'm a dancer. Cool. And I don't know, I'm really excited to just meet these women and have met.
So fun.
Yeah. And dance is my passion as well, because we don't know. We just met each other. But
a week ago?
About a week ago.
Yeah.
The stars aligned. I love how you said
Absolutely.
that. I'm just so thrilled.
And Gina, you've been dancing in this community for
a long time. I've danced since I was like 5.
For at least a couple years.
Yeah. a couple.
Since you were 14, right?
Yeah.
It's about 10 years or so?
But one of the things about, I'm sure you could relate with the troupe, with your performance, Mystical Phoenix.
Mystical
Phoenix. There's an energy when you collaborate with
Others.
anyone.
Mm-hmm.
But our troupe, we had a troupe too, and it was more eclectic. We did belly dancing, we did a little bit of hip hop, we did jazz, I did interpretive dance, and I had classes. And then those people that were inspired to want to perform, because some people really don't want to perform, that's fine. But when you're on stage or you're somewhere in this zone, so to speak, you can feel each other. There's not even a way to explain it.
It's a spiritual connection.
It is. It's like I got chills right now. I love to dance, and it's so wonderful to meet you at such a young, beautiful soul that loves to dance and has been dancing all her life in the womb, and now she's in the baby phoenix in her performance troupe.
That's great.
I do spinning staff. Or some call it fire staff. I'm not that great yet, but I'm working on it. I'm not good enough to do actual fire, but I have fake flames, and that's one of the performances. I'm doing a solo with my staff.
Excellent.
Nice.
And ironically, I hand make poi swings, P-O-I, which is from the Maori tribe of back in the day, and that's how the women communicated. So that was another resonant. And so that's how you learn. You use pois a lot or staffs before you learn to fire dance. Yeah. So I hand make all these props. And a lot of the reasons why is because we're comfortable dancing, but some kids are not. So with something to do,
it's a good
like,
experiment, an experience.
Oh, yeah.
Sticks I made from drumsticks, all recycled drum with ribbons. Poi swings I make out of golf balls padded, and then I tape it. Then I fabric them and we braid them. And then we have hula hoops that I make, and then what else? A stick. We had all kinds of fun things, so people felt comfortable moving and having something to do.
I love that concept because when I dance, I have no idea what to do with my hands.
Right? So
I get the dinosaur hands.
Oh, yeah, me too.
And I just and I don't really know what to do with them. And I see videos of myself dancing sometimes. I'm like,
Dinosaur hands.
I got to remember not to do that anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. My dance sister Eliza Gear. Shout out.
Yes.
And
she does poi. And the
fire.
Not fire yet, but working towards that.
Excellent.
So does I'm gonna say Jessica Handgrove. They're performing together, July 18th and July 19th.
Very
again
cool.
As a part of your
Yes.
performance. Oh, that's wonderful.
We talked a little bit before the show. Liza, good friend of ours here at the station. She's actually been in the station before, not on the air, but shooting videos with her mom and her dad or her stepdad has been helping on some projects, and
like film projects.
Film projects.
Excellent.
One of the funniest things I ever saw is her stepdad. He's a very large man, and he looks very serious as this big burly
very
bearded
intimidating.
man. We were at this ranch filming a place, and there was like 2 litters of kittens. And we're over there filming, and every time we look over, her stepdad is sitting on the porch.
Oh, yeah, playing with all the cats.
Covered in kittens. One time, I think he
Big
had
teddy bear.
He had a dozen kittens on him, and he had his head up in the air and his eyes closed. And
sweet!
He's just all these kittens are purring all over him, and he's melted right along with the kittens. It was beautiful.
Oh,
yeah,
that's a beautiful image.
It was fun. So you said special ed teacher is one of the things you might be pursuing.
Yes.
I really have to respect that because I think there's such a huge need, especially for teachers in general, but especially the special ed teachers.
Yeah, agreed.
I know some people that are, in this school district and other school districts that have had a really tough time getting their kids in programs because there's not enough people to run the programs or to teach the programs. Not only the people, but the funding. And, it's one of those things that's kind of overlooked, and it's really important to have not only the teachers, but the advocates for the kids in the programs.
And that creative flair, that's so important for all of us, but especially for, young people.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what
art and passion is something you can enjoy the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of the special needs label gets put on kids that aren't really... They have
different needs.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
They have different needs. They're still just as capable as any other kid.
And they all deserve education.
Sometimes more capable than the other kids.
Yes.
Yeah, and they're just they're just not in lines.
And
I
really
like the colored lines either.
I really think art and creativity is a major way to reach a lot of those kids, even adults.
Absolutely.
A lot of undiagnosed adults that had a hard time in school, have had a little harder time gathering things. They find their place in art. What do you?
I'm looking at my mom.
Would you like to add any comments, Mama?
I kind of look in the mirror at times when I say that. Yeah.
Well, what an honor that your daughter recognizes your beautiful gift and your dedication to the young children and all your history.
I have something to add about that.
Yeah.
Even when I was a little kid, like little, I barely knew how to talk. She taught me my ABCs. We had this strip of letters around my room, in the living room of ABCs and cursive and all that. And she was teaching me how to do like adding and subtracting when I was little. And I am very, I love education and I love learning. And I really dedicate that to my mom because, she got me started on the right path. And that's part of the reason why I want to be a teacher and why I want to be an early education teacher.
Yeah.
Because that's so powerful. One person, my mom, love you, empowered me and gave me the start of an education that I needed. And I'm super grateful for that. And I can't wait I'm hoping to be that for someone else.
That's awesome.
I'm certain you will be. Your passion in your voice and the way you express it and your honoring your mom. Oh, yeah. The world needs you.
I think, too, and it sounds like your mom has done this with you. It's really important early on to not only teach the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s and all that, but to instill the idea of learning. Never stop learning. And learning doesn't have to be a chore. It doesn't have to be something that you don't like.
All.
Learning should be fun. And I think it's important as early educators, especially to keep that going and
it's what motivates the rest of it.
Also, because I do work with the younger ones and the older, I believe that our energy as an adult, please be playful. It's so important. It feeds the soul.
Don't be afraid to be
playful
silly.
and let the children of our future generations see that it's okay to be creative, expressive, a little silly, a little bit, because some of the kids, they look at me and they go, well, she's a little weird. I go, yes, indeed I am, because, normal is a setting on a dryer, and I just don't get attracted to normal.
Exactly. At the end of it, I mean... Oh, Miss Gina's weird. At the end of it, they were all doing pretty much the same thing. They were dancing Miss Gina's dance and
Miss Gina's weird.
Having so much fun. Yeah,
at the end, we had fun, huh?
Yes.
Just takes a little bit, and that's where Gabby helped too. We just, Marcy and I, we did wonderful, and we had you, which was an incredible gift, and it was just kind of the comfortableness came out, to be allowing people to be themselves, their true, authentic self. Super important.
Well, I think it's important to realize too, and it's important to let young people understand that when you get that diploma, you get that degree in your hand, it doesn't change who you are up here in your brain. You're still a confused little kid. I'm 47 years old. I'm still a confused little kid upstairs, and I'm just trying to make it through this life. And having fun really helps that other stuff sort of come into play. And you see all these these responsible adults that are out there responsible adulting. And they inside they're still a squishy little kid,
and also
trying to
the
make it through
passion
this life.
that you have, and we're trying to instill volunteerism, in our younger people.
It is the best choice I've ever made, especially with wanting to be a teacher. Best decision ever.
Yeah,
and leave
just
it at
like
that.
how you stay inspired, Chuck. And so, if anyone out there, encourage your kids or yourself. Pick something that you might want to try, whether it's the food bank, whether it's coming to the market, come to the radio station, maybe go help an elder, go to the Stevens County Cat Sanctuary, whatever. Just give back. It's just so rewarding. And it's just what I've done my whole life, and I'm still doing it, and it makes my heart full.
Well,
it fills my soul.
Even outside of volunteering, you learn valuable skills.
You learn so much.
You learn how to interact with people, and there's a lot of times when people find their calling and they actually will shift their as
just
adults
by exploring.
Yeah, they'll shift what they do.
Explore. Try new things. Be open-minded. Live in joy.
Exactly.
Seek joy.
Exactly. Yeah.
Never
stop being silly.
With Gabby.
Yeah.
So what kind of things do you have? So I had some barbecue pork this morning for breakfast, and I got a sunflower seed stuck in my throat,
yum.
and it's made me cough ever since.
Do you have water over there?
I do. Okay. So tell us about some of the things you have coming up. I mean, you've got more dancings coming up, or what do you got planned for the summer?
We're again celebrating at the Kep Canham Park Celebration. And then I already went back and volunteered for more positions at Colville Parks and Rec. Nice. And I will be doing that. I don't remember. I have it on my Google Calendar. And then I'm going to keep doing that until I have my performance. And then I'm hoping to go back into it and continue that.
And come visit Gina at the Friday markets.
And come visit
Gina. Have some fun. Whenever you can make it down, you just give me a ring. Yeah. I can come today. It can only just be an hour, or you can hang out with me. I bring good lunch. There's lots of beautiful food vendors too that are delicious food, and I always have to bring my little snack because sometimes we get so busy that
We had the folks from Inspire Washington come a couple weeks ago, and Gina shows up with this great big bowl of some of the most amazing cherries.
Wasn't that incredible? I mean, I just show up to this meeting, but I bring food. I can't. It's just what I do.
Every one of those cherries got eaten.
I know.
Yeah,
I saw
not
the
a
empty
single
bowl
one went to waste.
the next day or the day.
And there wasn't a single bad cherry in the bowl.
They were so good.
This year, I don't know if I'm
They're really good.
I'm getting off track. I'm getting off topic here, but this
well,
year, and I've talked about this with a lot of other people. The cherries this year that are coming out are just amazing
delicious.
this year.
Yeah.
Some of the best cherries I've ever seen. Even in the grocery store, you go and get them. Not a bad cherry in the bag.
And then of course our local market. Always show up there because we're going to be 10 to 2 tomorrow because it's the holiday.
Yeah.
So it's different hours tomorrow.
And the fruit's starting to come off. I've seen apricots. I'm seeing all kinds of other great stuff in the markets.
And to mention another couple inspired youths, okay, Rochelle and her 2 daughters, Megan, right, and Rebecca. They do silver jewelry, and they're like a trio. Her mom is going to sing the national anthem tomorrow at noon with the color guard.
In Chihuahua?
Correct. And these girls are young, like you, and they're going to come on the radio too. They're entrepreneurial. They work with silver, all vintage silver. They do rings and bracelets, and they work as a trio.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, so I'm just telling. It's her voice, the mom's voice, Rochelle's incredible voice.
She's a great singer.
So that'll be starting at noon, right? Tomorrow.
Chihuahua, Washington.
The ceremony.
The market starts 10. The ceremony starts at noon.
Yep.
And one thing I'd like to point out, especially to some youth, one of our regional senators, our district representative, Shelley Short.
She's going to be speaking.
Is going to be there. And I think it's really important for people to meet our representatives and really, especially the younger people. She'll be there, and I've met Shelley before. She's actually really personable. She's really easy to approach and talk to. And it's going to be... It's important for young people, for them to meet the young people and hear what the young people have to say in the community. A lot of times it's just, the older folks, the business owners, that kind of stuff that approach them and talk to them. But they need to hear and they want to hear from our youth.
Their voices, the youth's
So it's
voice.
really, really important.
Right, exactly.
And interacting with these people directly really helps give the youth a bigger voice in our community.
And Tom McLean used to teach music at Valley School. He's great. He and his wife are going to be doing some performance. So he was a teacher, music teacher for years, and he plays local, and he'll be there as well, playing with his wife. I'm sure he's going to have his wife with him.
Exactly.
But anyhow.
And I'll tell you what, Gabby, and this is just me personally, just off the cuff. So you and Marcy, you guys organize this thing.
Marcy's done it for several years through the Park and Rec. And then, like I said, Marcy and I have known each other for quite a while. And I said, we've talked about collaborating, and it just happened to work out. And it was a stretch. I had to work right afterwards, and I'm happy to do it. Plus, we had a storage place for all our stuff, which helped.
Yeah.
And so we decided to do it, let's do it. And it was
best decision. I can't speak ever.
We had a great time together.
I'm going to challenge Gabby to keep in touch with you guys and,
yes.
help from the beginning. And,
I
and
got
really
both their phone numbers.
Okay,
we're hooked in.
We're besties now.
I figured there's probably not much of a challenge.
Well, we really did have a great fit. Like you said, the stars lined up, and we had just a great time. And I enjoyed it so much. It really made my heart happy.
Yeah. Agreed.
That's fantastic.
Yay, and here she is. And I'm going to go see the Mystical Phoenixes perform.
Yeah, so Mystical Phoenixes, I want to hear. So do you guys have any performances coming? I know you said the one
July 18th.
July 18th.
And 19th, correct?
And then we also do preseason barter fair, but that's going to be next year because we already did that. And then I don't know if we have any more coming up other than like the community ones. Nice. But that's part of the dances. It's always been a big part of my life, and it's not just dance lessons. It's a community. It's a whole community, and there's so many people out there, and it's exciting. It's exhilarating. It's fun. It's weird. It's cool. It's all
my
these
favorite things.
It's all these adjectives that I fill the room. Yep.
There you go. Fill the room.
So if someone wants to, are you guys taking new members for the dance troupe? If somebody wants to join up.
I do not know, but we do talk and we do advocate and
I had asked that same question to your grandma, and currently she says not necessarily classes, but then I told her my background experience. She goes, just come me, because we had such a good connection. So I think I'm understanding there's no classes because you're working on your troops performing.
Yes, it's the whole troop.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Well, I wasn't really asking about classes. Just if somebody is like say somebody moves to town and they have experience. Is there a way to contact the group and? Or am I asking too much here?
I don't know. I am just one of the little members, but yeah, my
Penny. That's
grandma,
who I met, her grandma.
Penelope Bash. She's the dance leader. So at Seymour Channels. I don't know. That would be a question to
I'll
ask
find out
her.
more because
Okay.
I'm going to show up someday.
Yeah.
We'll find out more because
I've
I
been
have seen you
invited,
guys
so I'll find
perform
out.
before. You know, I think I don't know if I've seen the whole troupe perform before, but I know a couple times Stephanie has brought some extra dancers to do some things, and it's so much fun. And you know, growing up, I've always seen the dancing troupes and belly dancers, and they're always so much fun. I've got a couple of my really good friends from high school that I've actually got a couple that are professional belly dancers, and they tour. And they're with larger companies that actually go all around the United States.
That's
and,
really
and do
cool.
dancing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they do the swords, and they do the dancing with the swords on their head. I don't know any of the terms, but
Yeah.
but
I don't know either. We're all a magical circus. That's
right.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all so weird. We got all these different things, and it's fun. Super fun.
That's awesome. I think one of the coolest experiences I've ever had in my life had to do with in part with belly dancing. We were in Washington, D.C. It was on our honeymoon. We got married on a Saturday. My wife had a business conference in Washington, D.C. she had to be at. And it was fun because we got to go to the White House and stuff, but we're asking the person at the hotel, like, we really wanted some good, like, Mediterranean or Indian food. And he's recommended this place. He's like, go over here. Here's the address. And he jotted down, on a little piece of scratch paper. So we call a cab, right? And he drives us in the middle of the night through this really, it's Washington, D.C., this really scary, shady neighborhood, this industrial place. And we're like, what is going on? And the cab stops in front of this big, looked like an abandoned industrial building. And we're like, what is going on? And he's like, go knock on that door. And we're like, what are we getting ourselves into here? So we got out of the cab. The cab pulls away. We're in the middle of this really creepy-looking industrial place, in the middle of this huge city. And there's this little door inside of a bigger door.
Ooh.
So we knock on the door, and the door opens up, and it's this like magical Indian palace. You go in, and there's this waiting room, and there's pashminas and cushions on the floor.
Oh, wow.
And they're like, come in and wait here. And so we wait in this room, and then we wait there for a few minutes, and then they open up these curtains, just like magically open, and we go into this bigger room. It was a restaurant. It was one of these, where you sit down and they bring you the courses and they wash your hands for you while you're sitting there eating. So we're sitting there eating and we're having our wine and our meal, and all of a sudden, in the middle of the meal, the lights just go whoom and die.
And here they come.
And we're like, what is going on? Then the music starts, and then the stage lighting comes up, and there's like a dozen belly dancers, and they're going around all these tables, and they do this amazing performance right in the middle of dinner. And it was it's a
wonderful
experience I will never forget.
So wonderful.
Yeah. And the food.
I can visualize. I can feel it.
To this day, that restaurant is some of the best food I've ever had in my entire life. It was incredible. It was about 6 hours by the time we were done and out of there. I think we got there about 7 p.m.
So it was a whole incredible evening experience.
We didn't leave
Textures,
there till like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
It was wild.
Visual, smell, beauty,
Yeah.
Awesome.
And I didn't even care. I didn't even care to look at the bill at the end of the night. I'm like, whatever, that was worth it.
Oh my!
It was awesome. So anyway,
that's a great story.
It's the dance and the art and the food. It all goes together.
It does. So, it does for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Well, is there anything else you want to talk about while you're here? I know you do anything with school. I mean, we don't have to talk about where you're going to school or anything. We don't want to get too personal on the air, but you don't have to talk about it if you don't want to. But I mean, not now, but in the future. You talked about going. Do you have any schools picked out that you're looking at?
Actually, I am in Spokane, Washington. I'm looking at Whitworth University, and I'm also looking at Eastern University in Spokane.
Both great schools.
Both great schools, yes, I agreed. And then I'm also starting to pursue sign language as a passion because, again, I get a lot of inspiration from my mom. I love her so much, and I love what she does and who she helps, and that's 2 of her students are deaf or hard of hearing. And it was kind of let me think about this. At first, they didn't really have anything to help them with their education until they started talking about let's get interpreters and let's do this and resources to help all these students and using sign language and using this as a communicator because these students they can't hear. How are you supposed to learn? And it was really cool seeing how much that helped them in their education.
With the sign language, for sure. Because you understand, communicate,
exactly.
right?
Yes.
Communication.
And it was super cool to see that. So I started trying to pursue that, and I'm currently learning.
Nice.
Yeah.
I find, and I'm getting on another soapbox here, sign language. For the life of me, I don't understand why sign language isn't just a basic thing we learn in school. It is so useful. It is so helpful. It breaks down barriers. I mean, I have a cousin who's deaf. It's not just that. There's a lot of people, especially as we get older. Everybody starts losing their hearing at some point. I know I'm losing mine. My wife is losing hers. And instead of what we could
do a little signing, right?
We could sign.
It's good language to learn.
It is. Imagine if you get a classroom full of kids. Instead of being disruptive, a couple people kids can communicate with each other from across the room with sign language. Breaks down barriers, international language barriers. If everybody in the world just grew up learning sign language, it would break. I know there's different sign languages. There's ASL.
C sign, American Sign Language.
But I feel like it's closer. The international sign languages are closer than our spoken language, enough to where we could all actually break down some communication barriers. And I think that would solve a lot of problems in the world if we could break down communication barriers.
Yeah.
I think that is a lot of the problems in the world right now is not communicating. But yeah, sign language. I really feel like it's such a useful tool. Such a useful language.
And it's beautiful.
It is beautiful. Yeah, very beautiful. And I know Kim Goot would not mind me saying, her daughter was hearing impaired, and she learned sign. She's a Valley School paraeducator, good friend of mine. And when I had our troupe together, we did a lot of fundraisers. We did this whole big performance for a wooden stage at Chautauqua that was built. And one of the pieces.
I remember Chautauqua.
Oh yeah, we danced Chautauqua a lot. One of the pieces was the Indigo Girls. Come on, people now, smile on each other, everybody. And she did this I choreographed the piece of dance, and she was up there doing the entire song so gracefully, like her dancing and doing it. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was a special moment for me, for all of us.
I really love, you see even, rap concerts and stuff. There's always these fun videos that you see of people that are just focused on the interpreters and the sign language, and they get into it. They're up there dancing.
Oh yeah, it's amazing.
And it's an art form, like you said. It's an art form on its own.
Oh, for sure, yes.
She does it so fluidly and beautiful, and she's great. She still teaches at Valley paraeducation. Have you meet her?
I will have to look into that.
She's a wonderful soul. Yeah.
Definitely.
Connect the dots, right? That's what we're here for.
Well, one of these days we're gonna get together. With the dance troupe, and we'll get you guys. We've got Fall Fest coming up. We've got Winterfest coming up. I don't know if you want to be belly dancing Winterfest, but this year we're going to do Winterfest. The tent, the musicians are going to be inside the tent this year, where it's a little bit warmer,
a little bit of warmth,
especially after paying the band last year and having them cut off after 4 songs because it was too cold to play.
Cold, yeah.
But we've got lots of other stuff where we can, integrate dance into what we're doing, and it'd be a lot of fun to have you guys come. So
indeed, I'm looking forward to watching you, girl, and the ladies. Yeah,
absolutely. So tell us again the name of your dance troupe.
Mystical Phoenix.
Mystical Phoenix.
Based in Colville, Washington. Again, our next performance is Friday, July 18th at 11 a.m. and Saturday, July 19th at 3 p.m. And there's going to be all kinds of different festivities. This is all in the Colville Kep Canham Park for the Colville celebration. We're trying to start it up again, so
excellent. That's
going to be so fun. If you enjoy all the weird passion, creativity, and vibrant, it's awesome. You should definitely come.
And
I'm going.
If someone were wanting to hire you guys to do a performance. Are you guys available for bookings?
That would be something to ask our troop leader, but that is something that may be considered.
Cool. And do you guys have a Facebook page or anything that people can check out?
Do we? Oh, I guess we do.
Do you want to tell us what that is, Mom?
It's
just.
Yeah.
Is it Grandma's?
Okay, we'll look it up.
Okay.
All right, so go on Facebook and check out Mystical Phoenix.
Mhm.
And if you want to, maybe if you have an event and you're looking for some entertainment, maybe a festival or a concert, something,
Mhm.
maybe go ahead and send them a message and try to work something out.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Not trying to sell something you guys aren't offering, but I know how much
Just
hard
being
work goes into
supportive
it,
of
and
the
I
arts.
know,
Yeah.
I know it's really great to see all that hard work
Mhm.
actualized and
And
actually
beautiful costumes.
do those
Oh.
performances. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Grandma, for making all my costuming because I'm not very good at sewing. Thank you.
Well, it's been a pleasure to have you.
I enjoyed this so
and
much.
Your mom with all those beautiful honorary.
I love you, Mom.
Aw. Well, it's been great, and anytime you're in town, we're
Mhm.
always looking for volunteers here. Gina's always looking for help at the market.
Mhm.
We got the Creative District here in town, the Arts Guild, the
Lots of
theater.
yeah.
If you're ever interested in doing anything that's with the Center for the Arts, Center Stage Productions.
I'll keep her informed now that we've met.
Yes.
I'll
I think
say,
I think stage time. What is the age groups for stage time?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know that.
Yeah, I know.
But I will make sure that Gabby knows.
I think
the
14 is
choices
right
if
about
she
the
wants to come.
cutoff of the cusp for stage time. Or they go all the way through high school, right?
I really
Well,
couldn't
no, because
answer
now
that.
there's the teen consortium that's run by Jessica Sani.
Okay,
it's
there you go.
It's a group specifically of teenage actors, and they put on a couple of amazing performances.
Excellent.
They're about to do Anne of Green Gables,
Okay.
and they're doing this performance. They're doing of Anne of Green Gables. They're going to do it in the round. They're actually going to.
I love theater in the round.
Oh, they're going to pull off the stage.
That's great.
And that's such an interesting for the actors, for the audience, sitting all the way around, and the actors have to perform to an audience.
Yes,
all around.
360 all
Yeah.
around. And at one point, with the little bit of stage experience I have, it seems like that might be a little awkward. But on the other hand, being on stage and doing your lines and trying to act natural while you're all facing forward with the audience is also a little awkward. So I'm wondering if it might be easier, actually.
I
It might
really
be able to give a more
appreciate the
authentic
visual
performance.
in the
Yeah.
round. Yeah.
Yeah, then you can really, act as if you would in real life and
3D.
Exactly, 4D.
5D. The fifth dimension and beyond.
I did a couple plays, and I love the theater community. That's super cool and super welcoming for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Artists,
Well,
performers
you
and
guys have
artists.
the Woodland Theater there in Kettle Falls.
Mhm.
It's an absolutely amazing theater, an absolutely amazing program.
It's a nice one.
But yeah, I want to thank you so much.
We're blessed. We're
We
so
are.
blessed.
Oh, we
aren't we?
are.
Wonderful community.
I want to thank you so much for coming on today.
Oh, of course. Yes.
We're about out of time here.
Okay.
But if you want to give a final shout out to anybody, now's your chance.
Okay. I love you, Mom, and I love you, Penny Bash, my grandma. Thank you, guys, Miss Gina. I am so sorry. I'm so bad at names.
Chuck. That's
Chuck.
okay. I'm bad
Thank
at
you so
names,
much,
too.
Chuck. I love this opportunity, and it was so fun to come out here and come talk with you guys.
Yes,
I
it was
really enjoyed
wonderful.
this.
It was great. We're gonna be doing this every Thursday. We're gonna try to get more young people in our community
inspired
on here
youth.
to inspire youth.
Yeah.
Thursdays. with Chuck and Gina.
Volunteer. It's fun.
It is
Absolutely.
fun.
Absolutely. All right, and you can tune in right here tonight on KCHW from 6 to 8 p.m. with Out of the Woods, 8 to 9 p.m. for Kelton a Twist. Then 9 to 11 p.m. 9 to 11 is Acoustic Cafe. You can tune in tomorrow morning right here on the KCHW Morning Show with myself, Craig, Paula, and we have a special musical guest that's going to be playing some music for us tomorrow. Don't miss that.
And
It's
don't
always a
forget
good one.
the art walk tonight.
And the art walk tonight
From 5 to 8.
5 to 8.
5 to 8.
We've got Gina Fruin at the Trails End Gallery along with the plein air exhibit. We have, sorry, I forget her name. See, I'm bad with names too. Karen Starkey and Lynn Cassidy are going to be at the Spotlight Gallery at the Aaron Huff Memorial Center. We're going to have our very own Blake Weirs. His art
Right.
is going to be displayed at the gallery at the Quartzsite Brewing Company. It's going to be a great one. We've got buskers outside. Craig and the Brats are going to be performing live at Fired Up Pizza. It's a fun one. We'll see you all out tonight.
Tonight is the art walk here.
Thank you guys for listening. Have a great night. This has been the KCHW Morning Show right here on KCHW 102.7, your Northern Lights Public Radio. Have a great day, everybody. Say goodbye.
Bye.
To be continued.
Always.
You're listening to Northern Lights Public Radio on 102.